Hi, my name is Jennifer Thompson, and this is my first speech for my speech class. And here's my audience. Okay, to start, imagine that you are a young man on a sea voyage. You're not married yet, but you are going across the ocean to start a new life in a new country. It's a little scary to begin with, just the whole concept of going across the ocean, but on this trip it's stormy and you get thrown overboard and you're in a very, very life-threatening situation. You make it back overboard, and you go on to live a very fruitful life. But that one experience is somewhat what defined you. This person was John Howland. He was a person who came over on the Mayflower. He's also one of my ancestors. What I want to talk about today is that, I do need my visual. What I want to talk about today is the impact that John Howland has had on my life. I worked as a family history consultant in a family history library for about 3 years, and it was an amazing experience to learn how to incorporate history into our individual lives. To know that this person, who is my ancestor, has affected my life through this one experience when he almost died. What would have happened if he hadn't made it? It would have affected millions of people. John Howland has over 10 million descendants, notably their people like the Bush family, like Ralph Waldo Emerson, like the Roosevelts, came from this man. And if that one life event had been different, it would have changed everything. This man has made a difference in my life to help me to understand myself, the importance of what I do in my everyday life. And I learned that all through doing family history work. So today I'm going to talk about getting started with doing your own family history work so that you can find people like John Howland in your history. The first thing that you want to do when you're starting family history work is to start with what you've got. You're going to start with yourself. I know it's very tempting to say, I want to know about my great-great-grandmother, so I'm going to start with her, but you need to start with yourself and move back. Find out what information you have. Primary resources such as birth certificates, marriage documents, things that are going to help you specify the exact dates of things so that it'll be easier to research further and find these stories. When you're looking right here on my board, you can see that I've made a little bit of a pedigree chart. So on this chart, you can tell that when you start with you and even go back 4 generations, it gets to 15 people. So it's easy, very easy to get distracted and go the wrong, and get off on rabbit trails and not do what you need to. The second most important thing is to make sure that you are documenting everything that you've got, making photocopies, making digitized copies, making records of everything you do. The place that you're going to go after you go through your primary documents and interview your family members and whatnot and get what you need, that is to go to places like FamilySearch.org and Ancestry.com, some of the best resources for census records, for military records, for marriage and vital statistic records. It helps you out a lot, so it's a good place to start. Secondly, you're going to want to make sure that you record everything, absolutely everything that you have. It is so important. Even if your searches are unproductive, you need to make sure that you are recording everything, because you don't want to have to research it later when you forgot what you searched for. You need to record what books you've looked through, what websites you visited to, what name you searched under, what specific dates you looked under, because only changing one of those things could affect the search and what the results are that come up. Another important thing that I did want to mention is how our recording is changing, how family history work is very quickly moving to a digitized field, that they are constantly indexing and pushing forward with changing these paper documents that are crumbling and falling apart because they're old into digitized documents that are searchable. The last thing that I want to talk about is that it's so easy to get discouraged when you're doing family history work, running into dead ends, running into issues with not being able to get the records that you need because you have to actually go and access them. There's a lot of pitfalls when it comes to doing family history work, but it's important to remember to have joy in your hunt, to remember that you're like a detective and you're searching out your family, and it's so important to find them so that you can understand who you are because of them. The other thing that that I did want to say is that I personally have gained so much from doing family history work, from understanding my ancestors. I've come to understand myself. I've come to understand what it means to fight for something, what it means to fail, what it means to succeed in your life because you've actually achieved something. They are an influence on me even though I've never met them. And something that I would encourage everybody to do is to search your family, search through your history to find out how you got to be the way that you are. Why do your family have certain traditions? Why do you have certain health characteristics? Who did you get that from? What about the random redhead cousin who was born? Where did that gene come in? There are things that you can only gain through understanding where you came from to understand who you are. I am very, very happy to talk to you about this today so that you can start out with your own journey to find people like John Howland in your life who will change your view of who you are. And I am very grateful for the chance that I had to speak with you today. And I'm done. Thank you.
Well.